KBLA Talk 1580 on all of our socials, then you're missing out. Download our app and find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and on the web at KBLA 1580.
That's right.
Again, you can find all of our socials at KBLA 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
By the way, if you miss any of our weekday shows in real time, you can always catch up by checking out the podcast of your favorite shows at your leisure. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Follow the leader.
Oh my God.
Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader.
You better think about what you're trying to do to me. Think, let your mind go, let yourself be free. Let's go way on, way back when. I didn't even know you couldn't have been too much more than 10. I ain't no psychiatrist, I ain't no doctor with degrees, but it don't take too much time to see what you're doing to me. You better think about what you're trying to do.
KBLA Talk 1580. Andy wants you to think. And thank you, Andy. Andy's riding hard for KBLA this week, pulling double shifts, working around the clock so his colleague can have a little time off. And we appreciate you so much for that, Andy. Phone lines are wide open at 800-920-1580, 800-920-1580. I mean, this conversation with, Attorney McCrae and Attorney Carr really, even though we're talking about a particular case and the victory for Slade Douglas III, and thank you for your service, Mr. Douglas, it brings up so many issues that we're facing on a lot of different levels at this moment because of the unleashing, which I think that's the name of the executive order, unleashing police. I can't remember the full name of that executive order, but because of what's happening with ICE, where, we see these protests going down in Minnesota, now the president and Homeland Security threatening not just people in the streets, but also threatening lawmakers, right? We've come to a point where all of these matters of what law enforcement can and cannot do, what rights we do and do not have, and if those rights are enforceable, they all seem very imminent and urgent at the moment because of what's happening. We saw a woman get shot in the head on camera in broad daylight. White woman, a mama, a very not threatening looking woman who was being labeled as a terrorist. And I think that's an eye opener for a lot of people, as it should be. The people are the solution. I keep saying that. I think we need to be brave, bold, courageous, outspoken. We have two options at this moment in history. Maybe more than two, but for me, it's two real basic ones, right? We can speak out and be courageous, or we can try to hide. But trying to hide doesn't really work right now. Or you can, join ICE. I know a couple people who are like, hey, they give $50,000 bonuses. I might go on ahead and join. I'm not kidding you. I have a couple friends who have said that to me. Now, I don't think they're really going to do it. I said, well, they probably won't take you anyway. But actually seeing who's out there on these streets, they probably will. Come one, come all, right? I mean, we are in a brand new day. Whether you like it or you don't like it, I think as astrologer Andy Nathanson has said, as astrologer numerologist Sahara Ali has said, as many of our spiritual leaders have said, this can be a turning point for good. Sometimes it's the darkness before the dawn. Sometimes when the devil shows his butt, it wakes people up. And they say, oh, no. We're not doing this. We're not going there. And that's what I believe. That's why I always say we win in the end. But we can't just cower because, number one, that's not righteous. It's not ethical, really. And number two, it doesn't work. You know what I mean? It doesn't work. You can be minding your own business in your own home. And like Mr. Douglas and So, protecting our own rights and speaking up, and the more of us do it, the less dangerous it is. They can't kill everyone. They can't shut up everyone. We are in a new and weirdo age. The president just flipped off a factory worker. The president. I was tickled to see that the GoFundMe for that Ford factory worker was at $800,000, and the family shut it down. They said, we're good. Find another cause. The president, whether he has dementia or he's just has a terrible personality and no self-control, or maybe he's just, a jerk. I don't know. Maybe he can't stand the pressure. Whatever's going on with him, he just made that man rich and famous, right? The man called him a pedophile protector, which I think is very, very clever and revealing turn of phrase. He didn't say you're a pedophile, because we don't know that. I mean, we know he was creepy with his own daughter, and we've seen him palling around with Epstein for years and years, even after those charges came out. But we don't know if he is. But pedophile protector, that we do know. We definitely know that. But there was no cussing in that. Pedophile protector is not a profanity. I love that the union stood up for him, too. The United Auto Workers said that our workers should not have to withstand profanity, not even from the president. The fact that the president is the one saying F you and flipping a bird, and the worker, the union auto worker, is the one eloquently stating and, cutting insult, is bars. You can't make this stuff up. But part of the reason I'm bringing that up is not just a question of decorum. It's a question of restraint. And there is no incentive for restraint at this moment, right? If I can simply shoot you in the head, if the president can cuss you out and flip you off on camera and doesn't even apologize, back off, or think nothing about it, goes on, gets himself another burger, another few Diet Cokes, get himself real jangled up on some caffeine, and keeps it pushing, then why wouldn't a nice agent say FUB and shoot you in the head? The president's flipping people off and making fun of people. Have you seen the clip of him making fun of Biden's cough? And he looks like, he's making weird sounds. It's crazy. I won't play it because it's kind of gross. But the thing about that is, I think back to Howard Dean. He was running for president. He made crazy sounds and it was over. He had a promising campaign. He made a few crazy sounds and it was over. Anything that was traditionally problematic, legal, illegal, presidential, not presidential, is off the table. So I was I think that the point that Attorney Pete Carr just made and that Attorney Lauren McCray just made in saying that we have to state our rights, even if they are violating them, just to let it be known for the body cam, the computer, the bystander video, the historical record, that we do not consent. I think that's important. The fact that Renee Good, her final words were, it's all good, I'm not mad at you. That was important, is important, because they can call her a terrorist all day. But if she is clearly a kind, gentle, attempting to de-escalate regular mama, then their lies sound louder. Their lies sound less genuine. They sound more liarish, if that's a word. And so, again, another argument for resistance, another argument for courage, and for knowing those rights, whether the president and the fake law enforcement personalized Gestapo of this president knows them, understands them, respects them, or not. At least we do. We can. And I think that is very, very important. We got a lot to talk about. Senate Republicans have blocked a resolution that was meant to stop further possibly illegal war moves in Venezuela. Trump says he's been told they're no longer killing protests. Iran has reopened their airspace. What does that mean? The United States is suspending immigrant visas from 75 countries indefinitely. What does it mean? And a federal judge has upheld California's congressional maps. That's a victory for Democrats. It's a win for the Golden State. What does it mean for 2026 midterm elections? That's just a few things on the table. You're welcome to put more things there. 800-920-1580, 800-920-1580. And so many things that are on my list that I haven't even gotten to yet. But we will. We got a lot to talk about. KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DePrima when we come forward.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Ask yourself this question. Is it really worth holding on to that timeshare that you know you need to get rid of? Here's the truth. The average maintenance fee just went up over 17%. That could have been 117%, and there's nothing you can do about it. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check for annual maintenance and assessment fees. I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. For 15 years, I've helped over 50,000 families cancel their timeshare. Not sell it, not transfer it, cancel it. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment and your maintenance fees would never go up? That's a lie. Are you ready to get rid of your timeshare once and for all? Simply call us and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit that explains all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your timeshare exit kit. 800-242-1551. That's 800-242-1551. 800-242-1551.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about. KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. The Los Angeles Regional Food Bank is on a mission to fight hunger and provide nutritious food to those in need across our community. They partner with federal, state, and local programs advocating for better policies and funding for critical hunger relief programs like Cal Fresh, the Emergency Food Assistance Program, and the Child and Adult Care Food Program. The food bank works with coalitions and local representatives to make sure hunger is addressed in every district of LA County. They also run nutrition education campaigns, raise hunger awareness, and source nutritious food for distribution, all while supporting regulations that allow food pantries to operate safely. Want to help? Visit lafoodbank.org or call 323-234-3030 to volunteer or find a food bank near you. Together, we can ensure that no one goes hungry in Los Angeles County. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580 is pleased to partner with the Empowerment Congress once again for their 34th annual summit. The summit's theme is From Vision to Action, a forum to unlock participatory democracy, and will feature a nonpartisan gubernatorial candidate forum focused on issues of importance to the African American community. The summit is the signature public policy-oriented observance of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s legacy during the national 3-day holiday weekend that celebrates his life. This year's summit will be held on Saturday, January 17th, 2026 at the California Science Center in Exposition Park from 9 to 11 a.m. Admission is free, but registration is required at KBLA1580.com. All major announced candidates for California governor for the Democratic and Republican Party nominations have been invited to participate in the candidate forum, which will be moderated by Tavis Smiley. An all-star panel of journalists will pose questions to the candidates, and the forum will be broadcast live on KBLA Talk 1580. This is going to be a big year for local, state, and national politics. The political pulse of 2026 beats on KBLA Talk 1580.
The
conversation continues right now with Dominique DePrima on First Things First.
It does, and you're invited in at 800-920-1580, 800-920-1580. You always are invited in. So a federal officer has shot a guy in the leg, another shooting in Minneapolis. This is a Venezuelan. The Homeland Security folks say that officers tried to stop the car to arrest the man and then opened fire after someone attacked them with a snow shovel and a broom handle. Of course, protests have been ongoing, but they flared up after that incident, just 1 week after Renee Nicole Good was killed in her car. And by the way, most law enforcement agencies do not allow you to shoot into cars. LAPD doesn't. Most police agencies across the country do not allow that. It maybe used to be more common. It's very common on cop shows and action movies. But the reason that they don't is because it's dangerous, right? You can shoot a bystander. The car can veer off, and after you kill the driver, the car can ram into pedestrians, buildings, other cops. It is a very reckless and highly risky move, but of course these ICE guys probably don't know that because, as we've just said, we don't know what training, if any, they have. They said the man was trying to evade the officers, that he crashed his car into another parked car and then fled on foot, running away. This is one of the big ironies of policing. Then they tell me they're fearing for their lives from somebody that's running away from them. Yeah. So this situation in Minneapolis continuing to escalate. The governor, Tim Walz, making a direct-to-camera speech to the people of his state. Whew, this is where we are. The U.S. at war with itself while taking on wars with other countries. The president is threatening to bring the military in, and no one is surprised because that's what he does. I mean, look, he's threatening to use the Insurrection Act, but he's been bringing in troops to, we're broadcasting from L.A., Crenshaw District. So we see that he'll do it, right? There were troops here, Marines and National Guard. They've been brought into many other cities. Now he's talking about leveling it up with the Insurrection Act, and that's probably partly because he's been losing in court about whether or not he has the right to deploy U.S. military on U.S. citizens, and the answer to that is no. But if he invokes the Insurrection Act, apparently under that circumstance he could. All of this is escalating. The Insurrection Act is something rarely used. Since 1794, it's been used only 30 times, and what it does is it allows the President of the United States to use troops if there is a rebellion, i.e., January 6th would have been a great time. They did not do that. Pardon most of those folks. We suspect some of them may now be ICE agents. In fact, one comparison photo that's going around the internet seems to show that at least one January 6th insurrectionist is now an ICE agent. But because people are protesting the cold-blooded murder of a woman being shot in the face by federal law enforcement in broad daylight, now he's calling that an insurrection. That's protest. And again, as I said yesterday, as Tavis said yesterday, you're fine with you're encouraging protests in Iran, but suppressing them in your own country. How does that not, I forget, they don't care. how does that not trigger you to think, man, I'm a hypocrite? I'm over here telling Iranians, keep protesting, topple the institution. I'm over here meeting with the son of their former Shah when they had a monarchy, trying to bring that back. Maybe we should bring back the British monarchy over here if you want to go throw back governments. You know? Shoot. Prince Andrew's out of a job. Maybe he wants to be the king of the United States, since you like pedophiles so much. 800-920-1580 is the number if you want to weigh in. 800-920-1580. So I was talking yesterday about how Grok, the Elon Musk AI tool, is really good at making pornographic deep fakes. And apparently there's one now circulating of Renee Good, which is about as disrespectful as you get, and that's between you and God. But I get to say it's disgusting. Well, the British want to punish Grok and Elon Musk for creating a tool that is encouraging deepfake porn, right? This kind of fake porn, AI, pornography, can be used as revenge porn. It's used to threaten people. Some people don't know the difference, so it can be used to undermine folks' reputations. A lot of people don't know the difference. Don't act like you always know. You don't always know. Unless you're Miles. Miles always knows. So now, because the United Kingdom wants to punish Elon Musk for spreading AI pornography, the State Department is threatening England. Threatening an entire country because Elon Musk has the right to get richer off of AI porn. That's crazy to me. That is thuggish. That is, well, it's mafia. It's mafia oligarchy. It's, oligarchy is the very, very, very rich in charge of everything, right? But this is not just this is not the aristocratic oligarchy. This is the thug oligarchy. This is the mafia oligarchy, right? Well, the guy was a casino owner in Atlantic City, so you connect the dots. I'm just saying. So, yeah, Sarah Rogers, who's the Undersecretary of State for Public Diplomacy, LOL, is threatening the British government, saying that Elon has a right to peddle porn on the internets. They say if they ban X in the UK, which is one of the things they're talking about, along with very steep fines, they say nothing is off the table. What does that mean? You're going to go kidnap the British Prime Minister? What is happening? I actually don't think they'll do that, but nothing is off the table. She says that J.D. Vance and Donald Trump are huge champions of free speech, unless, of course, you're in Minneapolis protesting. Unless, of course, you happen to be Black Lives Matter. Unless, of course, you happen to be an auto worker who points out that the president has a preference for protecting pedophiles. Then you don't have free speech. But if you're Elon and you want to sell porn, we're staunch defenders of free speech. Alrighty. We shall see. The British Labour Party doesn't seem to be backing down. They say they are going to make the creation of non-consensual sex images criminal offenses, which would put Mr. Musk in danger of not just fines, but possibly doing time. The British Technology Secretary says our platforms need to be safe for women and girls. And if they don't, the British government will go further. So now we're in a face-off over protecting pedophiles on the internet? And we're threatening the UK? Where will it end? Where will it end? It ends with us, we the people. We are the solution. We are the answer. We are the power. And as long as we stay courageous and emboldened and faithful, as long as we be faith, live faith, walk faith, we're going to be all right. We're going to be all right. It's just 12 kinds of crazy. So the other day I was talking about how Elon Musk is suing these music publishers because he doesn't want to pay for music. And Molly Bell was in the chat. She said, I have no idea what you're talking about. And I'm so glad you said that, Molly Bell, because sometimes I get passionate about something. I get carried away, and I don't mean to leave you behind. So the breakdown is this, the recap. When a radio station or a social media entity plays music that is copyrighted, when you play Smokey Robinson has to get paid if he wrote that song. He has to get paid publishing, right? The artists have to get paid for their intellectual property. Elon doesn't want to pay them for their intellectual property. So he is suing the music publishing groups, saying that they are colluding. In other words, that there's a conspiracy because all of them are copyright striking him, which is their right to force you to pay for using their property, their music, which is their property. He's trying to sue them for collusion so that he doesn't have to pay artists for the right to use their music. Hopefully that clears it up, Molly Bell. Because the richest man in the world feels like the artist should let him use what they make a living off of for free for some reason. All right, we've got news, traffic, and sports. Then we're going to keep the conversation going. You're listening to Unapologetically Progressive, KBLA Talk 1580.
Thanks for starting your morning off with a voice that speaks truth to power and the powerless, getting to the heart of what matters most in our community. This is where authentic conversation meets real action. From breaking news and politics to culture and community solutions, this is where you hear perspectives you won't hear anywhere else. This is where we come together, get informed, and make change happen. You're inside First Things First with Dominique DePrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
Good morning, sunshine. You make my day.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. New York City and state lawmakers are reacting after President Trump announced he will not fund sanctuary cities.
He's trying to punish them.
Terrible. I think it's like a fascist government. That's what I think. Power. He just wants power.
Meanwhile, Governor Kathy Hochul has said she'd support allowing New Yorkers to sue federal agents if their rights are violated. Conservative media personality Megyn Kelly is blasting Wanda Sykes after the comedian joked about being a queer black woman doing the job of two mediocre white guys at the Golden Globes. Kelly called the remarks racist and pathetic, saying Sykes should be banned. And after 23 years at the Kennedy Center, Georgetown University's annual MLK tribute concert is moving to the historic Howard Theater. The January event will still feature music and spoken word honoring Dr. King's legacy. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Azusa, although a previous wreck is now off to the shoulder on the 210 westbound before Azusa Avenue, debris remains in lanes, so you are still slow and go throughout the area as CHP tries to clear it. Universal City, conked out car is in your left lane, 101 southbound at Vineland Avenue. You will be hitting those brakes from Coldwater Canyon Avenue and in South LA. An object is reported in the left lanes, 110 northbound at Manchester, so proceed with caution.
Got issues with youth or high school sports? Positive Coaching Alliance can help. PCA, a national nonprofit, offers more than 1,000 free online resources for youth and high school sports coaches, parents, students, and administrators. Visit PCADevZone.org.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
All of a sudden, the Clippers are playing some of the best ball in the NBA. At the Intuit Dome in Inglewood last night, the Clippers beat the Washington Wizards 119-105 for their fourth straight win. The Clippers are 11-2 since December 20th. On December 18th, the Clippers were 6-21 and appeared to be heading toward a miserable season. They are now 17-23, just a half game behind Memphis for the 10th and final playoff spot in the Western Conference. Kawhi Leonard had 33 points and 4 steals last night. James Harden dropped 22 and 8 assists. The Clippers start a 3-game road trip Friday night at Toronto. The Lakers are back in action tonight. They're at home against Charlotte. Luka Doncic still leads the NBA in scoring with 33.4 points per game. One of the 9 openings for NFL head coaching jobs has been filled. John Harbaugh, fired by Baltimore, will be the new coach of the New York Giants. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
Follow the leader.
KBLA Talk 1580.
Follow the leader.
If you're not following KBLA Talk 1580 on all of our socials, then you're missing out. Download our app and find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and on the web at KBLA 1580.
That's right.
Again, you can find all of our socials at KBLA 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
By the way, if you miss any of our weekday shows in real time, you can always catch up by checking out the podcasts of your favorite shows at your leisure. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Follow the leader.
Following the leader.
Oh my God. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader.
With your Los Angeles Public Library card, you can access the latest music, movies, audiobooks, ebooks, graphic novels, and more, all for free. Check it out at lapl.org/emedia. That's lapl.org/emedia.
Worried about unpredictable utility bills this winter? LADWP's Level Pay makes budgeting a breeze. With Level Pay, you'll receive a monthly bill that stays the same. No surprises. Even past due amounts can be rolled in, and you'll skip those seasonal spikes from heating your home. Sign up today at ladwp.com/levelpay. That's ladwp.com/levelpay, or call 1-800-DIAL-DWP and take control of your bill.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Worried about eviction? You have rights, and Stay Housed LA can help. Stay Housed LA is a partnership between LA County, the City of Los Angeles, and local service providers. From Lancaster to Long Beach, we're here to help you with tenant education workshops, legal clinics, free legal services for eligible tenants, and online resources about tenant protection laws. Don't face eviction alone. Call our hotline at 1-888-694-0040. That's 1-888-694-0040. Or visit stayhousedla.org. Stay Housed LA, keeping Los Angeles residents in their homes. Stay Housed LA, your rights, your home, our community. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. This is KBLA Talk 1580, where everybody is somebody and nobody is a stranger. You belong here.
You belong here. We're glad that you are here, and you are invited to call here at 800-920-1580. If you've got something to say, I'm always happy to hear from you, 800-920-1580. You can also dip in, tap in, while out on social media. We are at KBLA 1580 on every platform, including YouTube, where we're currently streaming, and the conversation is bubbling in the comment section. Not only that, I do check my my socials sometimes during the show, so please find me. I'm at Diprima Radio, DIPRIMA, and then radio, I'm on every platform. If you're trying to DM me, though, go to IG or Twitter. Yeah, I call it Twitter on purpose, because I've been told that it gets on Elon Musk's nerves. So, any little thing that I can do, because he gets on my nerves. And it's not him. He is perfectly nice. I was going to say I'm sure he's perfectly nice, but I actually know that because, believe it or not, I actually had a glass of wine with him once so long ago. He seemed perfectly nice. He didn't seem unhinged. Of course, that was before he got divorced again or drop kicked or whatever by his last girlfriend and started going on a anti-trans binge. But anyway, I digress. It's not him that gets on my nerves. It's his policies, his mentality, his white supremacy, his eugenicism, his lies, outright lies and mis and disinformation that he puts up on his platform. It's his lack of charitable contributions to the world as the richest man in the world, as somebody who could end hunger in the United States and not even notice it in his bank account. But doesn't give a rat's behind. In fact, he donates less than any other billionaire that we track, which is pretty stunning. That's what gets on my nerves. It's not him. It was actually very nice and polite. This was surreal. You know who was at that table? Was his former wife, Amber Heard, and me having a glass of wine. It was very nice. Amber was really nice. She's much more pretty in person and just kind and funny and smart. His former wife is a whole novelist. She's brilliant and beautiful also. And then him. He didn't talk much. He was nice, though. Not someone you would expect to be waving a chainsaw around on ketamine. But I digress. 800-920-1580. So that's why I call it Twitter. It's not that I don't know it's X. We do what we can. Yeah, Andy calls it Twitter, too. Andy don't want to talk about it, but Andy calls it Twitter. Oh, and speaking of AI, please do not go to AI for your health advice. There's a new study out that shows that it's even worse than Dr. Google, right? Before you would Google and people would get health advice based on, you would pull up a website and if you weren't paying attention, it could be, Donald Duck's health tips, right? Because we got to consider the source. That's what media literacy means. You consider the source. But it's worse with AI because you type it in your search engine and AI gives you the answer, but they're wrong. AI hallucinates. That's what they call it when AI doesn't have the answer, which means they can't plagiarize it from somewhere. They make something up. That's what it does. And apparently there's a study, well, this was an investigation by The Guardian, that said that people are being endangered and actually getting sick and getting worse because they're going with AI health advice. Because many times, some huge percentage of the time, which it does not say in this article, it tells you something that is the opposite of what you should do. So please don't get your health advice. So Andy, you call it Twitter too?
I definitely call it Twitter because when you make a post, what are you calling it? Am I Xing you?
Yeah, I think that's what you're supposed to say. Just like on Truth Social, you're supposed to be truthing.
Wow.
Even though we know mostly they're lying. But that's, I actually read the book Big Brother, Andy, and it's about, one of the things it does is exactly this. The government calls something the exact opposite of what it is. And so the Truth Social could be straight out of George Orwell's book Big Brother, because truthing is mostly lying, but they call it truthing. So that's very Orwellian in that sense. And that's why, you're the richest man in the world. I can't do too much to get on your last nerve. You could probably buy my house, my block, my radio station, all my friends. So if I can just say Twitter.
You're not the only one.
It's just a small, we do what we can. We do what we can. But yeah, please don't get don't get your health info from Dr. Google. Is bad enough. At least with Dr. Google, they tell you the source. You can say, oh, this is the National Institutes of Health. That should be pretty reliable. Well, it used to be. You could say, oh, this is, coming from, I was going to say Harvard, but did you see the composite drawing of Mansa Musa from Harvard? Mansa Musa, who's supposed to be the richest man in history, a black man. The drawing did you see that, Andy? It's a drawing that he looks exactly like Ye. It's crazy.
Welcome to the future.
If I was Ye. Anyway, well, they could be related. Ye's pretty rich. Anyway, yeah, so this is not good. apparently AI told people with pancreatic cancer they should avoid high-fat foods, but doctors say you're actually supposed to do just the opposite if you have pancreatic cancer. So no health advice from AI, please.
Oh no, Dominique.
What do you mean you get your health advice from AI?
I feel like I'll get health advice from anything, right? So I'll get it from the computer. I'll go to the doc. I'll get it from the homie down the street. If there's some sort of, continuity there, I'll definitely take heed to it. And the only reason why I say that is because, in my opinion,
Right.
I just feel like doctors don't really tell you the real.
Okay, so second opinion, third opinion. I don't disagree with that. I'll Google it.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing about AI is they don't usually give you the source.
That's fair.
So if you Google it, you can say, oh, this is from, RFK, so probably not true. But you compare, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, that's what media literacy is. Well, with that doctor. And I also agree with you, just because someone has on a white coat doesn't make them right.
100%. I mean, I went to a birthday party of a friend of mine who's dating a surgeon. And I asked him straight up. I was like, yo, do you ever share any holistic type of stuff or whatnot? And he was like, you know what? I will not share any holistic information unless the patient asks. So you mean to tell me that you're not forthcoming with natural stuff off the rip? You're just going to go ahead and just push said pill?
And that surgeon is 3 steps ahead of most doctors who don't know holistic information.
Crazy.
I mean, Dr. Noel Reed, who was on the show, is my doctor because she knows the holistic medicine and because she is healthy.
I need a referral.
I need my doctor to be healthy. Like, I can't be more fit than you.
Absolutely.
That's a problem. I can't be healthier than you. Most of the time when I get a checkup, the doctor says, whatever you're doing, keep doing it. And I'm not bragging. I'm like, I work hard for that. I work out probably 4 to 6 times a week. I don't eat a lot of junk. I drink my water. You see me. This ain't coffee. This right here is mint tea. I don't play about, my temple, right? Except when I do. Except when I go on a cookie binge. But none of us are perfect. I'm a sucker for French fries. But the point is, I agree with you, Andy. You got to compare and contrast.
Absolutely.
I'm just pointing out AI because it does hallucinate.
Yeah.
And people have this idea that AI is God. AI is just plagiarizing. It's just collecting data. It's a bot that grabs information from here, information from there, and puts it all together and spits it out. And if it can't find it or it doesn't know it, it makes something up. That's what they call AI hallucination. I didn't create that term. Scientists did. It means it's just making it up out the side of my neck. It means it's Bill O'Reilly. It means it's Donald Trump. Someone just said that in the chat. They said it sounds like Trump. Oh, that's Morris. Make something up, sounds like Trump. Yeah, it does. AI is the computer version of Trump, which means, well, has access to many resources, may not be acting in your best interests.
This is why I feel like it's important that we shouldn't be afraid of AI.
Yeah.
We need to be the ones behind programming AI so that AI can have some sort of cultural understanding.
Yeah, you're right. Garbage in, garbage out. But you got to do that without allowing it to steal your soul, steal your essence, your intellectual property, 100%. Your voice. I mean, the fact that AI music, is now being pushed by these streaming services because they have to pay $0 to anybody is the end of art. That's why I was passionate about Elon Musk suing music publishers. You want to sue the real musicians' representatives so you don't have to pay them, but you want to use their music on your AI so you can make Smokey Robinson-like music and not have to pay. So you can make Ice Cube-like music, so you can make Kendrick Lamar clone music and not have to pay KDOT. That's what they're doing. That's how they're moving. So yeah, we can help put the money and the information and the cultural competence into these AI models. But the question is, how do you do that without getting robbed? That's what SAG-AFTRA is grappling with right now, right? We'll figure it out. I think, I'm not afraid of AI. I think it will create as many jobs as it takes away if we, pay attention, learn it, and don't fear it. But I also think it's overrated and overhyped. I've been on the radio long enough to be here for Y2K, when everyone was saying it was the end of the world and everything's going to shut down, blah, blah, blah. Hype, hypety, hype, nothing. Here we are 25 years later, 26 years later.
2012 was the same thing, too.
Oh, gosh, I forgot about that.
Mayan calendar and everything.
Yeah, it was just a calendar. You know what the Mayans did when it ran out?
What?
Got another calendar, just like all of us do. So, I think we have to put things in the context of the hysteria and the hype. And, I got to look more into this. There's a cult around AI that reportedly some very rich people are involved with. So when people flip their positions from AI can take over, it's going to kill the humans, it's going to make us extinct. And then they flip to, I love AI. AI is everything. I'm investing in it. Apparently, some people feel that if you don't cooperate with the AI is coming for you.
Hey, I got into it with AI the other day.
You were fighting with AI?
I was fighting with AI because AI was not following my prompts. I was like, yo, stop enhancing these pictures, yo.
Oh, I remember that.
But then AI became honest and was like, I utilize another tool that I have no control over, which was quite surprising.
But you had to press it, right?
I had to press it.
Yeah, because Miles had me arguing with AI one day. I think he was trying to see if my talk radio lady logic could take down AI. And I'm happy to report that I won.
Congratulations.
Because it had to confess. It had to confess that it didn't know what it was talking about. But that took, me and Miles were back there fooling around. That took a good 10 minutes. And, and I had to really press it. But my point is, and your point, we are the ones programming it.
100%.
And so I get backup batteries, and they're now saying some AI can replicate itself, which is supposed to be the danger point. But it doesn't run without power. And all of its so-called intelligence comes from us. So I say, don't believe the hype. It's not too late to call me, 800-920-1580. I'm Dominique DePrima, and this is KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DePrima when we come forward.
Join Ignited Light at the 10th Annual Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day of Service, Saturday, January 17th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Holman United Methodist Church, 3320 West Adams Boulevard, west of Arlington. This service for humanity brings together community providers offering free food and clothing, medical screenings, legal, dental, academic, and career services, plus vaccinations, flu shots, HIV and STD testing, and blood pressure checks. All are welcome. That's January 17th at Holman United Methodist Church. For more information, go to adayon.org. That's adayon.org. Protect yourself from Medicare card scams. Scammers may call, email, or even knock on your door claiming they need your Medicare info, asking for money, or threatening to cancel your benefits. Don't fall for it. It's a scam. Remember, Medicare doesn't need to verify your information. They already have it. Medicare won't charge you for a new card and will never threaten to cancel benefits. Check your Medicare statements for suspicious charges and report scams to the California Senior Medicare Patrol at 1-855-613-7080. We're here to help.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-515-4493. 800-515-4493. 800-515-4493.
It all comes down to this, folks.
Yep, the entire season is on the line. But my throat has officially thrown in the towel.
Sounds like you need Vicks VapoCool drops. They're max strength and vaporize sore throat pain.
Whoa! These VapoCool drops hit fast.
Speaking of fast, did you just see that play?
Yeah, he vaporized that ball.
That pun should have come with a penalty.
Vaporize sore throat pain with Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Broadcasting live from Leimert Park, USA. Welcome back to your home for unapologetically progressive radio, KBLA Talk 1580.
Welcome back indeed, and it's fun talking with you, Andy. But I think you have such a balanced approach, and one of the reasons, the way that I do news, and one of the ways that I do financial literacy, not financial literacy, media literacy for myself, is that I will look at sources with different perspectives. Because nobody's that smart. These people be tricky. For example, I will look at the Weekly Standard, which is a conservative weekly, or the Wall Street Journal, because they tend to be very conservative in their analysis. I'll take the same story. Let's see. What is the Wall Street Journal saying about Venezuela? Now, what is the Huffington Post, which is a more progressive outlet? What are they saying about Venezuela? Now, what is The Nation, which is a socialist paper? What are they saying? Now I put on my little hat, my little thinking hat on a Think Tank Thursday, and I say 1 + 1 = 2. These folks are saying it's 3. These folks are saying it's 1. What do I think? You take all of these facts and you use your non-artificial intelligence, your natural God-given intelligence, to aggregate and analyze those facts, and you can figure it out.
There's a website called Ground News. I don't know if you're familiar with that.
Ground News?
Ground News. Well, I don't know if it's a website, but Ground News is like a web page or whatnot. And they give you that balance. They'll have articles, and they'll actually let you know the percentage of, what side of the political spectrum this article is giving you or whatnot. So I wanted to share that information as well.
Yeah,
so
I need to look at that. I think that is important. Of course, it depends. Like now you got to say who's doing that analysis. Because remember, the LA Times was going to have a bias-o-meter, and then they decided, I guess they scrapped it because I don't see it because everyone was clowning them, because they are owned by a billionaire, South African-born billionaire. So your biased apartheid escapee self is going to tell us what's biased and what side of it's complicated, but you're right. That concept that we can implement ourselves. And the other thing that I find helpful is looking at nonprofit news sources like Cal Matters, people that are not beholden to advertisers, and there's very few of those, but there are some. Those news sources tend to be a little bit more straight down the middle. So I think that's something we have to teach our kids. One of the things that I think was most helpful for me when I was in college, I had a teacher called Dr. Ray Richardson. She was the founder of Marcus Books in the Bay. She was brilliant, and she taught us about critical thinking. It was never just spew out facts. It was never memorize this textbook and say it back to me. It was, what's your analysis? Who is saying this? Why are they saying it? What's in it for them? What are they trying to convince you? That is a more sophisticated version of follow the money. And we need it now more than ever. You can call it common sense, but it's like elevated common sense. It's common sense with interrogation. Common sense and the interrogation also includes me interrogating myself. Like, what's my bias here? Why is this making me so mad? What does it have to do with me? Why am I triggered or not triggered? Why do I not care? So that to me is super important. I'm laughing because I just saw the headline. Trump envoy says U.S. and Greenland likely to reach beneficial agreement, that they're going to come to some kind of deal, that he's meeting with the Belgian ambassador. And the reason I think that's funny is because many have said, many news reports and analysts have said all along, the U.S. already has a military base in Greenland. We do not have an adversarial. We have not had an adversarial relationship with Denmark. The Trump administration doesn't have to invade to get whatever they want there. Maybe they're just now figuring that out. I hope so. But yeah, 800-920-1580. Not too late to call me. Let's go to JW calling us from South LA. Good morning, JW.
Good morning, Dominique, and Happy New Year.
Same to you.
Before I make my comment, I would like to suggest that you would like to have a guest by the name of Malcolm Nance.
Yeah, I'm familiar. I will work on it. I'm just rushing you because we're a little tight on time. So what's your comment, sir?
Okay, yeah, I'll be real brief. Once before I called in and said the hand of God was moving, everybody had called in and agreed. I'm saying again today because, see, what's taking place with that lady being shot in the face, that's God exposing how Trump is scandalous and how the SS is secret, police, which is none but the Nazis, and all the above. They're being so arrogant and bold where people are being not tolerating anymore because they're seeing what's taking place.
Yeah.
So exposure is the main point as well. I have spoke to Dr. Melina Ardula of Black Lives Matter, and I said one of the solutions is to have allies, which is we should have all nationalities in the United States as well as worldwide.
Yes, indeed.
Humanity.
Absolutely, JW. It's such a great point.
And that way we can get things done.
Okay, we're going to have to leave it there, but thank you so much for that point. I think everybody is all out in these streets, and I'm happy to see it. Terrible that Renee Good had to pay the ultimate price for us to figure that out. Dr. Shango Blake joins us next on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. President Trump has signed a bipartisan bill restoring whole and 2% milk in school cafeterias, reversing Obama-era limits to low-fat options.
This legislation also allows parents to directly request a substitute for milk for children with dairy intolerance.
Trump says the move will benefit students and help U.S. dairy farmers. A new report by Innocence and Justice Louisiana shows Louisiana State Police used force against black individuals in over 60% of cases, though they make up just 31% of the population. Black and Native residents in Southwest Louisiana were 3 times more likely to face force despite reforms and reporting laws. And a public celebration of life for gospel legend Richard Smallwood.